Hey YouTube, this is Eric. Just going to show you guys my Kioti cs2410. I've had it since 2015. It is currently the end of May in 2019, so I've had it for about 4 years. No big complaints. It's been pretty good. I don't really have much to compare it to. I've never really owned a tractor or a subcompact. I've had mainly just standard lawnmowers like a Craftsman, and I had one older garden tractor made by Poland Pro. Couple reasons why I bought this was it probably came down to money. It was inexpensive compared to the John Deere or the Kubota. I know John Deere, I think that year, and I may be wrong, but I think they had the quick attach for like your belly mower and bucket, and that did seem to be a pretty impressive system, but I guess the only thing I thought was it just coming out, I was a little hesitant on it and was worried about the lifetime on it and everything. But I'll probably say, if in my opinion, maybe if you're older and you've got back trouble, stuff like that, you might want to consider maybe some of the stuff with the quick connect. I'm in North Carolina, probably about an hour west of Charlotte, so I'm near South Carolina. We don't get a lot of snow or anything like that, but I have moved snow with it. You can see the pile of dirt I have over there. I have cut into a tariff right there. We had some water issues where the church built an addition, and they've got a 12-inch corrugated pipe, probably say 120 feet off my property, and it floods this hole back in. They're not really willing to fix it, so instead of having standing water, I've made it to where the water can drain off. So I was pretty impressed with this tractor that I was actually able to really tear into some earth fairly easily. It does pretty good. It's 4-wheel drive. I don't have the bucket on it obviously right now. It's in the basement. It's a 24.5 horsepower tractor. I think the first year that I bought it, the only thing that ever happened to it, I was scraping my mother's driveway, and somehow this right here, I think the collar pin may have came out, or maybe it never had one in it, I'm not sure, but that whole thing just came loose, and I was not able to steer it too well. But they came, no questions asked, and they fixed it. But other than that, everything's been smooth sailing. I would highly recommend it. I really would. Seems like a really good tractor. If it had the quick connect and stuff on it, it would be perfect. Mainly what I do is I keep my belly mower on during cutting season. When it gets winter, fall time, I'm not cutting grass, I usually take the belly mower off, and then that way too I can inspect it and I can sharpen my blades, things like that. And then that's when I kind of do more of my, if I'm going to grade anything down or use the bucket, that's primarily when I use it, is around the fall or winter time. But I'll have to admit, if I had the quick connect where I could easily take it off, I would probably do stuff like that all year round and not worry too much about it. I was using 1540 weight oil in it when I first got it. But the last oil change that I did, I wound up going to 10W30. And so far, I believe I like that better. The manual states 1540, but I noticed that if you open up the hood, and you look in here, it's saying you use 1030, 1040 all year round. So I was a little confused on that. I asked the dealer. He said that was primarily just preference. I had a buddy of mine that has tractors. He said to use 1540, but he doesn't have a subcompact. He has a bigger tractor. So in my neck of the woods, the area that I'm in, if you had to ask me, I'm going to say 1030 is going to be your best friend. Oil changes aren't too bad to do, but you will need to take off your... You don't have to, but I would advise doing it when the belly mower's off. It just seems to make life easier. I've never really had much issue with it. I mean, but I do keep it. The last house we had it in a garage, and this house there's a basement with a garage door, so I keep it in that. So it doesn't normally sit around in sun and stuff like that. I know a couple guys that have lawnmowers that they keep them sort of like in an open carport, and they've always complained about rats getting into them, chewing wires, stuff like that. So I don't recommend that for something like this. I don't have to use DEF fuel in the cs2410. I don't believe they make it anymore. I think now you have to get the cs2510. I don't think there's that much difference in between the two. And I may be wrong, but maybe the 2510 uses DEF fuel, but I may be wrong on that. But that's just my take on the Kioti cs2410. I'd say if I've got about 3.5 acres that I maintain. And everybody was like, well, just get a zero turn. And that would, if you're all about cutting grass and having a pretty well maintained lawn, I would probably say yes, get a zero turn. This doesn't cut grass as good as a lawnmower or a zero turn. And it's not quite as good as a real tractor, like a full size. But it's a multi-tool. You can still shovel, you can still move snow, you can move dirt, you can tear into the earth a little bit. Maybe not as good as a full-size tractor, but it'll still do it. So, if you're not having to do big projects, you just want to move mulch, maybe some gravel, things like that, definitely these do good. I don't think I would probably recommend a gasoline engine. I've been on one of those before, just not enough power for the bucket. Good enough for mowing grass. I guess if all you're going to do mulch, then maybe the gas maybe wouldn't be that bad, but I have done some gravel and stuff like that, and that's where I couldn't do it with the gasoline engine. But yeah, this is I would definitely highly recommend it. Maybe the next, I know there's a few videos on that explains how to do oil changes, things like that, so I probably won't do one of these videos on that. But I may do some videos on other things that I've known that I hadn't seen yet with the 2510. I've got a tiller and a box scrape, so I might do some videos on hooking it up and stuff like that later on. But yeah, good tractor overall. But I know the market is flooded with subcompacts. If you wanted my advice, I'd probably say maybe go with the dealer that's closest to you. I think they all have pretty good warranties now. Even when I bought this, it only had 2 years, but I think Kioti does 6 years now. No matter which one you get, I think you're going to be overall happy with it. I'm not saying that this is better than one or another. There's going to be advantages and disadvantages with all of them. I know, like looking at the Kubota at the time, your forward and reverse, like this would be your forward, then back here would be your reverse. I wasn't too crazy about that. I actually prefer that style there where they're side by side. It does have a cast iron back end on it. I don't know about now, but I'm pretty sure the Kubota had aluminum. And that was one reason why I kind of strayed away from it, and that and the price. I wish I had the some more attachments for it. But over time, I'm sure I'll build them up. hopefully this is the first tractor I get, and hopefully it will be the last. I'm hoping it really will last my lifetime. We'll find out. But after 4 years of ownership, I have just put 300 hours on it. I've not really had to do much to it. I think I did have to buy the plastic piece cracked off of this. I had to replace that. I think underneath the belly mower, there's right on the front underneath, there's a metal plate, and I was going over a tree root and it bent it back. We had to pull it off and straighten it out, but I was able to bolt it back on, no problems, no belt issues. This thing is awesome. But anyways, guys, y'all have a good one, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, shoot them to me. Thanks. Bye.